welcome back to another episode of our Behind BrainPark interview series we're doing, where I chat with some of the researchers and the students that work within the BrainPark group, as well as the people that use the facility. So sitting down with me virtually today, I think Chao's sitting on the moon, it looks like, with your nice backdrop there. So Chao's sitting down with me today. Chao's a really awesome researcher we have with the group, man of many talents, is involved in many projects that we do, and is really critical to the imaging work that BrainPark does, being housed within Monash Biomedical Imaging. MRI imaging is kind of critical to a lot of the work we do, and Chao's heavily involved in that. So welcome, Chao.
Thanks, James. First,
yes.
Apologize. Apologize for the hair. So situations
like many people, but as we're recording this, hairdressers have recently just opened up in Victoria, so you are able, when they might be booked out till Christmas, who knows, but hopefully you can book in for a haircut. So as we've started many of these other interviews, tell us a little bit about I guess how you got into science, what your PhD was about, and kind of some of your, I guess, research career before you ended up with us at BrainPark.
Yeah. Very happy to be sitting here and just talk a little bit about myself, and then what's my team is involved in BrainParks. So for myself, so I'm actually, my undergrad is a physics. Finished my physics, majors in optics, and then I moved to Australia and then have my Master of Biomedical Engineering in Melbourne Uni. And after that, I had finished my PhD in Sydney, in actually UNSW School of Psychiatry. And by that time, I narrowed down from like a general physics areas into the brain imaging. Like what James said, it's the neuroimaging, and then specialized on the basically magnetic resonance imaging, MRI. My PhD was a really fun project, is looking to using the MRI to understanding what's the brain plasticities after cognitive and the physical trainings in elderly people, how those exercise and cognitive training will help them, what is actually you can see and you can detect it, what's the brain changings after a certain of time. Well, I was very enjoying my PhD works, and then it's tell me a lot out of the physics. So that's how I get my whole interest in just shifting from understanding a lot of things. It's the big things and the particles and dealing with something non-human into human areas, and and then to understand a lot of things. And then basically after that, I after my PhD back in actually 2013, I moved to Monash and joined the groups. As I said, I had so I got physics and engineering background, so I was naturally involved into a lot of imaging part of any projects. But in general, I still have a strong research interested in to understand how the lifestyle interventions is going to be changing our brains, and what is our brain's response to these interventions.
Yeah, cool.
Which is part of the missions of BrainPark.
It's kind of a core feature of a lot of the research that we do. So Chao heads up our technology research team or stream that we have within BrainPark. So do you just want to elaborate a little bit more, I guess, what some of your kind of direct research interests are right now with the group, and then kind of more broadly what some of the kind of technology team is working on more broadly?
Yeah, sure. So to this technology, we've got a lots of talent staff and the students is working together. So quite exciting. So yes, it's just BrainPark. So I'm leading the technology teams. So we further extend our research areas from brain imaging is the focus, but we extend to a bigger scope. So in general, our objective is to adopt or optimize those advanced technologies. So not only imaging, but also other parts to facilitate and improve the research outcome for the other research team, like the decision-making teams or the clinical teams or the intervention teams. So we're just saying a broader picture is we're trying to form like a technical foundation, if it's in that way, to help BrainParks to achieve the missions. So specific, we're still running our imaging studies to understand all of these basic questions, and also we expanded not only imaging to like virtual realities and how it is to understand a little bit more how we're going to use it, what's the best way to use it, and how to improve it from the technical point of views. And also we extended from just simply MRI measurements to the other types of brain measurements in general, or other psychophysiology measurements. And it was the best way to measure the more accurate measures, and how to provide us a more meaningful outcome to help with understandings the lifestyle intervention and how the brains works for this decision making or other type of research. And also, sorry, the last part is from the technology part, we just want to try to improve a lot of algorithms. So like this, we recently working on some machine learning based algorithms and try to improve a lot of backend processings or methodology. Of this analysis.
Yeah, so I mean, all that analysis and I guess that back end work you're doing is going to be super beneficial for the group moving forward. What kind of things you're involved in? So, say some of our lifestyle intervention projects, like our BEAT study or our CC study. What are the kind of things that you're looking at from the technology? Like, what are you kind of doing from the imaging side to assist some of those projects?
Oh yeah, if you specify in the project, so that's a two good examples that we have heavily involved into this project. So it's actually from the very beginning that we're helping to design the best methods. So even without the starting point, we start to design what's the best method, and we foresee what would be the most beneficial, and there will be state of arts technologies or this designs. What is the tools? It is like the MRI. There's a lot of parameters, a lot of sequences we say, or the methods we use. So we designed that, and we were helping to underway this. There's a lot of adjusting actually is happening when it's actually start, and of course when it finish, it's going to be very important to use the best way to analyze the data, and then how to link what's the research questions and what we found. Of course, we just keep improving that while we're doing the analysis and adjust the methods. So, and that is imaging, but also other parts we're already helping to boost it, like the physical measurements and then like the physiology measurements. That's all of these things we're trying to facilitating the project.
Yeah, awesome. Now, obviously, the last kind of 6 months with the kind of COVID situation, there hasn't been a whole lot of imaging data collection going on or work to be done. So I guess what has your team been working on during the kind of transition to kind of work from home that we've found ourselves in over the kind of the last 6 months?
Yes, it's a good question. It's quite challenging for the last 6 months, especially, so the recruiting and the scanning has to be stopped. But we luckily, so for the imaging, it's like we kind of like a dry lab system. So all of our works is kind of a computer-based and centralized computer-based. So luckily, we can still working from home. We hope that it's okay. So for all the existing data and then the research topics, so we can keep going, of course. But the data recruiting is a huge problem now. We're just waiting for that to be resumed. So that's the main challenge from our end. And also
Cool.
hair is another challenge.
Well, hopefully we can kind of return to some data collection very shortly. Lastly, as I ask all of the guests in these kind of mini interviews, why would someone want to work with the BrainPark Group? What do you enjoy most about working kind of across the BrainPark Group?
Yeah, well, it's this question. I like this question actually. So, I also say So we talk a lots of things. The imaging part is amazing. I would just say stuff is what is straight is coming to my mind. So, in here with BrainPark, so we're based on monash biomedical imaging. We got 2 state-of-art scanners that's next to us. So, I mean, from an imaging or from a research point of view, that's gold. So we got all of the things centralized, and what our tools it is. It's the best way we can understand or organize the studies. And then we can do a lot of things that we couldn't do before. That's great. Uh, from another side, is I think it's we're working as a collective of all of the lovely teams, and all the team members is all working very well with each other. We have a selected goal and working together. And I still remember that I think before my PhD, I was looking at that. So I think I have used that word here. So the amazing things that you're working in this environment, you're working with the top levels of cleverest people around you. That's very enjoyable. And then I think that's what the BrainPark is bringing. So we got this environment, we got all of these people, and we got this technology, all these tools together. So we achieve. Yeah. It's lovely. Yeah.
It is a fantastic place to work, as you kind of highlighted, being co-located with Monash Biomedical Imaging, but then also, as you said, being surrounded by some of the top experts in the world, like yourself, to provide us to really, so that the group can kind of really utilize the imaging capabilities that we have within the building that we work is pretty awesome. And the work that your team does is definitely kind of benefits nearly all of the projects that go on at BrainPark and will for years to come. So thank you very much for sitting down with me this morning. I'll let you get back to your work on the moon. Hopefully we can kind of return to some kind of data collection with the scannings hopefully soon, and kind of catch up back in the lab. So thanks, Chao.
Thanks, James. Thank you.